Hey guys, today what we're going to talk about is severe weather and the different types of severe weather that we see in the United States and how they form. So what is severe weather? Severe weather refers to any dangerous meteorological phenomenon with the potential to cause damage, serious social disruption, or the loss of human life. Types of severe weather vary depending on latitude, topography, and atmospheric conditions. Severe weather occurs from the same conditions that generate ordinary thunderstorms. Atmospheric moisture, lift of atmospheric air from low pressure, and then instability in the atmosphere. The first type of severe weather we're going to discuss is thunderstorms. Thunderstorms are actually predecessors to many other types of severe weather. Thunderstorms result from the rapid upward movement of moist, warm air from the ground into the upper atmosphere. They can occur inside warm air masses and at fronts. As the warm, moist air moves upward, it cools, condenses, and forms cumulonimbus clouds that can reach the height of over 20 kilometers. Thunderstorms can generally form and develop in any geographic location. They're most frequent within areas located at mid-latitudes, where warm, moist air from the south collides with cooler air from the poles. The reason for lightning during a thunderstorm is because of the movement of air within the cloud. Different parts of the cloud become oppositely charged. When they become oppositely charged, a current flows between the regions of opposite electrical charges and the lightning flashes. After lightning flashes in a thunderstorm, you often hear thunder. The thunder is a result of the rapid heating of air around the bolt of lightning. Lightning can reach temperatures of 30,000 degrees Celsius, which is 5 times hotter than the surface of the sun. This extreme heat cools quickly and cool air contracts. The rapid movement of molecules forms sound waves, which are heard as thunder. The next type of severe weather we're going to discuss is a tornado. A tornado is defined as a violently rotating column of air that extends from a thunderstorm to the ground. The most violent tornadoes are capable of tremendous destruction, with wind speeds of 250 miles per hour or greater. The damage path of a tornado can be in excess of 1 mile wide and 50 miles long. So what causes a tornado? Well, thunderstorms often develop in advance of an eastward moving cold front. In front of a cold front is warm, moist air, because that's what's behind the warm front. As that cold front pushes through, it pushes that warm air up in the vertical, causing cumulonimbus clouds. So tornadoes in the winter and early spring are often associated with these strong frontal systems that form in the central states and then move east. Okay, so what causes a tornado? Well, during the spring in the Central Plains, thunderstorms frequently develop along a dry line, which separates the warm, moist air to the east from the dry air to the west. Tornado-producing thunderstorms may form as this dry line moves east during the afternoon hours. So how do tornadoes form? Before thunderstorms develop, there's a change in wind direction. There's also an increase with wind speed with increasing height in the atmosphere. So the ground actually has a lower wind speed than the upper parts of the troposphere. This creates an invisible horizontal spinning effect in the lower part of the atmosphere. Rising air within the thunderstorm updraft tilts the rotating air from the horizontal into the vertical. So it pulls this spinning air column up into the thundercloud. So continuing on how tornadoes form, you now have that area of rotation has been pulled up by the cumulonimbus cloud, and that area of rotation is somewhere between 2 and 6 miles wide and extends through much of the storm. Most of your strong and violent tornadoes form within this area of strong rotation. So not all areas that have a cumulonimbus cloud will have a tornado associated with it. For instance, here if you look at the picture, you have your cumulonimbus cloud caused by rapidly rising air into the upper parts of the troposphere. But in this area here, you also have this area of rotation. Where this area of rotation happens is where you'll end up with your tornadoes. So classifying tornadoes. Forecasters and researchers currently use wind damage scale created by Theodore Fajita to classify tornadoes and sometimes the damage by other windstorms. The Fajita scale, or the F scale, uses numbers 0 through 5. The ratings are based upon the amount and type of wind damage. The Fajita Tornado Damage Scale runs from 0 to 5, And what happens is after a possible tornado occurs, researchers look at the damage that happened during the tornado. They then match up the damage over here with a possible wind speed, which then correlates to a tornado size number. So for instance, if there's severe damage, trains are overturned, cars are lifted off the ground, and strongly built homes have outside walls blown away, they would correlate that to a F3 tornado. So every spring, there's often tornadoes in the news. These ones are fairly old, but pretty memorable as far as tornadoes. April 25th through April 28th of 2012, there was a super outbreak, which were 300 confirmed tornadoes, with 317 fatalities throughout the Midwest and parts of the Northeast. On April 27th, a large tornado struck Alabama, killing at least 41 people. The mayor of that town called the damage catastrophic. May 21st to 26th, very large and intense multiple vortex tornado resulted in catastrophic damage in Joplin, Missouri. Many houses and businesses were flattened, and some were even blown away in Joplin. Here's a video clip of the destruction that happened in Joplin.
Watch and listen now as a storm chaser right there in Joplin captured the massive twister as it hit that city.
This is a Jeff Petrosky storm chaser. I have a large destructive tornado and on the southwest side of Joplin. Notified, large tornado on the ground doing massive damage. Large tornado, the maxi wags on the ground. It's tearing up the entire city on the south side of Joplin right now. This is Jeff Petrosky, and it's a massive tornado, massive destruction.
This is an aerial photograph of what Joplin looked like after the Category 5 tornado came through Joplin, Missouri. You'll notice that most of the buildings are completely destroyed. They look like they're all one level. They probably most likely were more than one level before the tornado hit. Also, trees, debris are just everywhere. It gives you a pretty good scale understanding of what a Category 5 tornado does to an area. The next type of severe weather we're going to discuss is hurricanes. Hurricanes are also known as tropical cyclones. They're categorized as large low-pressure centers and numerous thunderstorms that produce strong winds and heavy rain. So hurricanes are always born in moist tropical air. Most of the time they form off of the coast of the southern Atlantic, some are off the coast of Africa. In a developing tropical cyclone, strong thunderstorms occur. The air pressure drops at the surface of these storms. This low pressure attracts warm, moist air from the ocean's surface. The Coriolis effect causes the low-level winds to spin a counterclockwise direction around the center of the low-pressure system. There are 4 stages to a tropical cyclone formation. The lowest one is a tropical disturbance. A tropical disturbance is a discrete system of clouds, showers, and thunderstorms that originate in the tropics and maintain their identity as a storm for 24 hours or more. When the tropical disturbance develops a closed circulation, so a low pressure system going counterclockwise and has a maintained wind speed of 38 miles per hour, it now becomes a tropical depression. The next stage of tropical cyclone development is a tropical storm. A tropical storm is given a name once it reaches sustained winds between 39 and 73 miles per hour. The naming of a tropical storm alternates between male and female, and when a storm is particularly dangerous or has caused a lot of damage, that name is retired. For instance, Hurricane Katrina, Rita, Sandy are all names that will be retired. A hurricane is the last stage of development, and the winds have to be greater than 74 miles per hour. Most hurricanes actually have winds that are much stronger than 74 miles per hour. For example, Katrina was much higher than this. So in categorizing a hurricane, they also use a scale of 1 to 5, and they base their categorization on wind speed, the barometric pressure, and the destructive potential, which is based upon the Saffir-Simpson scale. What you guys are going to see now is a video clip of some of the footage taken during Hurricane Katrina, which was a Category 5 hurricane.
This is Katrina.
going to be completely, we're not going to be able to drive in about an hour. It's coming up. Tree limbs coming down. Completely underwater, this first storm here. There's chairs close by. Oh, there's the van. The van's coming in. Yeah, look at this over here. Look, see the waves coming through. That's going through. I think the eye is very close.
The next type of severe weather is one that we're all very familiar with here in New Hampshire, which is a blizzard. A blizzard is a severe snowstorm that is categorized by strong winds. To be a blizzard versus just a snowstorm, a blizzard has to have winds in excess of 56 kilometers per hour, or 35 miles per hour, with blowing or drifting snow, which reduces visibility to 400 meters, or a quarter mile less, and must last for a prolonged period of time, typically 3 hours or more. Now, a nor'easter is a type of blizzard that we're very familiar with here as winter approaches. It's a blizzard-type storm that occurs along the east coast of the United States and Canada. It's named because the storm travels to the northeast from the south and the winds come from the northeast. It's a low-pressure system with the center just off the east coast, in which the counterclockwise rotation brings precipitation onto the land. So it pulls over the water, pulls up a lot of moisture off the Atlantic, and dumps it as snow onto the land. Nor'easters can cause coastal flooding, hurricane-force winds, and coastal erosion. They can happen any time of the year, but they're most known for their presence in the wintertime. Nor'easters form due to the converging air masses of cold air from the poles and warm air masses from the south. All right, you guys should be just about done your notes. If there's anything that's missing, you should go back and rewatch the video. And don't forget to complete the summary questions at the bottom of the form. And we'll see you tomorrow.